My friends, my calling is not an easy one, my friend. I am the voice of the people crying in the wilderness for justice, my friends. Oh my God, my burden for God's people, my friend. My burden for God's people. These insurance companies that sell your life insurance. My God. How long would your people suffer, Lord, under these wicked systems that they have, Lord Jesus? How long would your people suffer when these wealthy insurance men go around the round table and boast about how much money they make, Lord Father God, and they take from the poor working class people over the years? Lord Jesus, I'll tell you that story, my friend. Years ago, I took out a policy with Clico, my friend, for my children. Policy is not a policy. Over 4 policies for my children. My friend, I am the one that God raised up the deal to expose these systems. Let me tell you why. A lot of people, when I call out for justice for God people, it's not for me alone. But as I told you, my friend, I walk many roads. And God allowed these things to happen because somebody had to cry out in the wilderness for his people. These people that, yes, I took out 4 policies for my children in Cleveland. And before I took all these policies, I asked the salesman, the sales representative, I said, listen, I don't want to tie up money for years paying policies for my children. I'm a businessman. Would these policies the cash value would be able to use for collateral? He says, yes. I said, great. Took out the policy. After paying on that policy for many years, I took it into the bank at the time to use it as cash value, to use it as collateral. The bank said, we don't hold Clico policies as collateral. So I called the salesman. I said, listen, when I took all these policies, I asked if my cash value could be used as collateral. He told me yes. I went to the bank and they're not using them as collateral, my friend. Use these policies as collateral. They say you can't use the cash values as collateral. My friend, you know what? I don't want these policies. Cannot work for me. I would like you all to refund me my money and I'm closing all the policies. The sales representative told me, he said, listen, if you close the policies, they will take 45% of everything that you put in. They'll take 45% of your cash values. So I said, listen, my friend, I don't want that. I want every 100% of everything back that I paid to those policies. Give me an ultimatum. He said, listen, that is all we could do for you. Well, my friend, I'm going to tell you a story. You see, my fight is not with the small man. My fight is to represent God people in all things. Who is God people? God people is the meek, is the poor, is the helpless, that who cannot fight for themselves, my friend. And my God, give me a voice. and give me the authority to represent him in these things, my friend. As I told the guy, I said, let me tell you something. I said, no problem. I put down that phone. I wrote a letter. And make 7 copies of the letters and send it out to Clico, my friend, to 7 other officers. In that letter, I stated, one of your sales representatives sold me insurance for my children. I asked him, before I invested in those policies, if those policies could be held as collateral. I'm a businessman. I'm not going to tie up money and not be able to use this collateral. He told me, yes. Guarantee me it could work. No, the bank is not holding them as collateral. That was around about 2008, around there. So, I wrote this letter saying, I'm giving you all 14 days to find that sales representative. I did not name the sales representative, and I did not give them my name. I say I am giving you all 14 days to find that sales representative and return every cent to me that I paid. So let me explain something to you, my friends. God, I am a father. I took time away from my children and family that I could never give back to them. I went out there and sweat and worked hard, sweat blood, and work hard and give a portion of my life to obtain those monies. That is a portion of my life I can never give back to my family. And you telling me that you're going to take 45% of my sweat and blood? My friends, find that salesman. You have 14 days to find your sales representative and find out who I am and return every cent to me. I said, Goliath was a giant, my friends, but a pebble brought him down. You got 14 days. And I send out them letters to 7 outlets. They don't know who sent it, and they don't know the salesman. Well, Clico went on a hunt for that salesman. The panic was in that company. I'm going to tell you something, my friend. My God is a God of unlimited power and resources. I am fed up of this world system that's draining his people of their hard-earned money. For you all to go and sit down around round tables and boast how much millions you all sell and all your yachts and the best hotels and things, while poor people suffering. Let me explain something to you, my friends. Well, after about 4 days, the salesman called me in panic. Alan, we got your letter. He said, we're working on you. Give us 2 more days. Well, within 2 more days, they had a check ready for me with every cent I paid into that company refunded to me. Nothing deducted. Every cent on my cash value. My friend, when God ready to bring judgment to our system, when God ready to bring judgment to our system, he would send someone. Well, my friend, take my word for it. I am that one. Within 1 year after they refunded my money, Clico come tumbling down like a house of cards. My friend, God, it wasn't for me alone Clico came tumbling down. That organization was a wicked system, and not the insurance system has to be revamped and revised, my friend. Well, I'm telling you something now, my friend. Guardian Life are putting you all on notice. I paid a policy for over 20 something years. What do you all call the policy? The lifestyle. And one day I went into the office and they tell me, you all discontinue with that policy. I have to upgrade or something. And it took every cent. I said, what you tell me? The mortality rate is this and that and all kind of fancy word you all use, my friends. Let me tell you something. I know I'm not the only one you all did that. What you call it, the lifestyle? And tell me the mortality rate and the thing and where's all their fancy words. And tell me the policy is obsolete now. Took my money after 20 years of paying for that policy and tell me the policy is no longer, they discontinue that policy. So my friends, here the part that the insurance agents don't tell you when you're taking out the policies. Now, after I pay my policy for 20 years, yeah, remember after 20 years, whatever the premium was 20 years ago, first of all, the first 3 years of the policy, they just take out all the fees and all the whatnot and then. So, you start to bill a little interest after 3 years, right? According to which company you're dealing with. Now, here what they don't tell you. While you're billing your interest and your cash value growing over those years, now what happens is, the cash value is really an illusion to you, is money for them to invest. So they don't want you, they're telling you you have cash value, but they don't want you to touch that. But if you touch that, it's an illusion because the lifestyle, they have to keep up with the lifestyle, the expensive lifestyle. So let's just say the asset's supposed to be $100 million. Half the time it's only at $25 million or $30 million. And that illusion in your bank account, it's not really there. So what they do, they're forcing you not to take your cash value out. So what happens is, if you do take your cash value out, they tell you it's a loan, but it's your cash value. Why are they telling you it's a loan? So they want to force you to pay it back. So what they do, they put an interest on it. So the interest is 6% or 12% according to what insurance you're dealing with. So listen to this. This interest on your outstanding balance of your own cash value is 6 or 12% per annum. And then you now paying your policy. Now, 20 years I paid this policy for, right? So after 20 years of paying this policy, here what happens now? Depleting, subsidizing your payment on your policy. Now you take money from that cash value. So they want you now to put back that money, because remember I tell you it's an illusion. They're supposed to value $100 million, the insurance company, but they only had $25 million in liquidity. So what happens is they force in your hand now. So it's really and truly you come like you have a credit card. At least the credit card is the bank money you're using, and then you would pay interest on the outstanding balance and compounded interest if you don't pay after that time. But they're using your cash value to lend you, to charge you interest and compounded interest on top of that. So what happens is, now if you, even though you're able to pay your policy, continue to pay your policy, and you can't deal with repaying your loan, the compounded interest eventually it depletes your cash value. So what happens is, now that your cash value is depleted, the policy would become obsolete, because even though if you decide to pay the policy, the premium that you're paying after the certain amount of years cannot sustain the policy, because it needs the cash value to subsidize the payment. So it was never about you making money. It was always about them digging out the foolish and the poor eyes. That is what insurance life policies are about. So only way you would win a little bit is if you never touch your cash value, and They show you these big projections, 10% interest dividends payment on your or whatever savings, and then truth and in fact, they know they're not paying 10%. They start your relationship with deception, my friends. So what happens now is, when you're telling them how the cash value going, well, they're only paying 1.5% right now, and they're only paying 2% right now. But they was never paying 10, but they show you a projection at 10. So let me tell you something. When you're taking out insurance, my friend, if you don't have to take out insurance with cash value, if you need term insurance to cover something, cover it with the term insurance. Get the cheapest term insurance and pay it. When your coverage is finished, you're done with that and you walk away. Take your money and save it in other assets. If it's a piece of land or something, let it appreciate. Because listen to me, even though they show you a projection for the next 50 years, you would accumulate $900,000. Let me tell you something. In 50 years, 900, if you do have it, which you'll never get in your account, if you do have $900,000 in 50 years, my friend, the buying power of that is like $9,500 because of inflation. So you can't win, my friend. You can't win. Don't let this. I have went through a lifetime of things, and I am willing to share this knowledge free with you all. Insurance, life insurance with saving is a major scam. And let me tell you the next thing, what I noticed with the insurance policy. They print our insurance policy for you. I have my insurance policy tucked away. After 6-7 years, I decided to go and review this policy and go through it. When I start to pull the insurance policy up, open it, the pages stuck together, all the writings coming off. Man, I just print books. I know about printing. I never see nothing like that in my life. Then they're telling you to bring back in the policy and they would reprint a copy for you. Heaven knows what they're changing in the policy to sue them after them years. Oh my God, too much deception, my friends. Too much. You know how much time I had to reprint policies, carried back in for them to reprint it. I can't read it after a while. They stuck together. I don't know if all the insurance like that, but a particular company was doing me that. So, let me explain something to you, my friend. When you're taking out life insurance, you see all that bull that has been giving you about and showing you all these, that is the same thing like network marketing. It's a sort of scam. Let me tell you, friends, do not depend on insurance savings to grow your wealth. You would end up a fool. You're buying power of your money 40 years ago and you're buying power of your money 40 years later is not the same. So even though if you do make it to the end, you're not getting a $950,000. Let's just say you get $100,000 in your hand if you never touch your cash value. Let's just say that. Hello. When you get $100,000, let me explain something to you. It's better you that put that money in a piece of land and let it appreciate and pay month by month as your savings, or you do something else with it. That money has no value. You take it out and you go to dinner with that house. Let me tell you something, it might just buy you a dinner or groceries for the week or for the month. My friends, don't let these people deceive you with all these. Oh my God, they have preyed on people too much over the years. Let me tell you something. If you're buying insurance, study ahead. If you had to get, it's a necessary evil. But let me explain something to you. If you do have to get insurance, term insurance to cover what you need to cover and nothing else. You want to save your money, invest your money in something else. But you get a piece of land and plant some coconut trees or lime trees or something. I'm sorry, but I going to rain on the parade. They take too much money from me. I am fed up with these people. No, it have necessary insurance. I'm not telling you. It have things necessary. You need your car insurance. You need your house insurance. But when it comes to life insurance, don't let it fool you up with all this nonsense and this critical illness and critical illness. Boy, the best thing to pay for your critical illness diseases or doctor, invest it in something. If it's a piece of land or if it's something, and you same way you're paying them every month, pay for the land every month. And eventually, in 50 years' time, your land might have been, when you started to pay it, you might have paid $500,000 for the land. And in 50 years' time, it appreciates. That is wealth. Don't let these people fool you. Because if you do have money in your account after 50 years, or after how much years, my friends, your money has no value. And all them years, they reinvest in your money. But let me explain something to you. You see this interest they're charging you on your own cash value? That had to stop, my friends. That had to stop. If you don't do anything for you and your children in this lifetime, think about other people, other poor people like yourself who going through this. That had to stop. Who monitoring these things? It's better you take a credit card and let it dig out your head and the compounded interest. That is what that is like. It's long-term deception, my friend. It's long-term deception. It is long-term deception. Let me explain something to you all. God ready to deal with you all. I am not the only one. I know I am not the only one who did that. God ready to deal with you all. You all can't touch me, man. I serve a God. Let me tell you the God I serve. This God is the God of Isaac. Is the God of Abraham. Is the God of Jacob. Is the God of Alan Paul Charles. Let me tell you something, my friends. You see that money you all took from me? I want every cent back. And you see the people, my friends, I would like you all, every single person that Guardian Life did that to, with that policy they say obsolete now. My God, only the rest until all they get their money back. And I know it's not just that policy. This system is wicked. You pay for a policy for over 20-something years, and one day you go to pay for it, tell you, see this policy is discontinued. The mortality rate of so and so and so, and they just take your money. My friend, this is a wicked system, and this system has to stop. You're draining the poor people, the people who going out there can't get justice for what the things you're all doing to them. Let me tell you something. I'm putting you all on notice, my friend. God is going to deal with your system. Let me tell you something. Your managers, your agents, all those people who wickedly take you poor people and the meek of the earth, the people of the earth, the poor people monies, and living it up in big hotel mansions, yacht, going on the round table and boasting. My friends, give the people back the money, my friends. Give them back the money. This system is wicked. It's a wicked system. Maritime. Let me tell you something, my friend. I walked into your office a couple of days ago. I'm telling you, I have 2 policies there for my children. And let me tell you something, my friend. Putting you all on notice. My God will give me justice. And I exposing you all. It's not I alone dealing with this. My cash value build up on those policies. And I take out a portion of my cash value to do something on behalf of my children. And then you now telling me the cash value I have, you charging me 6% per annum on my cash value, my money, my build-up, and I pay in my policy on my build-up. You charging me 6% per annum if I am not able to pay back that cash value. But that's mine. That is my money that build up a cash value. I'm going to tell you something, my friend. You see that wicked system? You'll take off that interest. Take off all them interests of a people cash value when they borrow and they can't pay back. That is not your money. That is the people money that built a cash value. You cannot lend people their own money and charge them interest on it, my friends. This wicked system, who monitoring the system, my friends? Who is monitoring this system? Who is justifying these things? My God say that must stop, and it will stop. It will stop. All of your agents and all these people who doing these wicked things to poor people, my God, when I speak, I don't speak for me alone. My plight, my calling in this world is not only to encourage, but to fight for the people who can't fight for themselves, my friend. My friend, let me tell you something. I'm like John the Baptist crying in the wilderness, my friend. My friend. This wicked system has to stop. This wicked system has to stop. I will continue paying my policies for my children, my friend. But let me tell you something. You see all those interests that you want to charge people who cannot pay back the loan on their cash value? That is injustice. You cannot charge a man interest for what is his own. You should not charge a man interest. And I'm putting it before my God. Father, Lord Jesus, you take charge of this wicked system. I know I am not the only one these insurance companies exploiting. Enough is enough, my friend. My friend, I am a warrior for Christ. Let me tell you something. I ain't come here to make friends with the world system, but to tear down the world system that has been bleeding and doing wickedness to the people of God. This world system that you all think you all get away with it. God is dealing with all these things right now. Let me tell you something, my friend. The God of Isaac, Abraham, Jacob, the God who was and is to come, He's the God that dealing with these things right now, my friend. You see all this wickedness you're all doing to people, my friend? It has to stop. It has to stop. As I told Clico, Goliath was a giant, but a pebble brought him down. Every cent you all steal from people, every overpriced bottle of wine and bottle of whiskey all you buy with this money, let me tell you something, my friend. Our God will take it back. Our God will take it back. My friend, this world system is not going to take from God's kingdom, from His people. Enough is enough. Give it back. Give it back. Give it back. God will take it back 1,000-fold. I said He will take it back 1,000-fold.